join. Everything in table A and whatever is relevant, join it from table B. For right join, when you represent it on the event diagram, this is what it looks like. Table A, table B. Everything in B and whatever is relevant from A, right join. When you do an inner join, this is A and this is B. Everything that is common to them, the rows that are common to the fields, to the common fields, give us the results. This is intersection, inner join. Then, of course, I've talked about full join. Full join is union of everything together. So that is the basics of understanding the different kind of joins. So we're going to do practice now, and I'll use that to explain the subtle differences between all the different joins. You need to pay particular attention, because if you're not attentive, you might miss some critical things that distinguish all of the join statements. So, can you hear me? All right, from the mic. I don't want to have to hold it. Now, in order to illustrate all of the joins, I'm going to use the last class we created for classwork, the classwork database, and then we created some information there. We're going to come back and use it. But for today, I want to start off with, let's use the events and the reservoir, let's use the event table, event and the vendors, sorry, not reservoir, event and the vendors tables. We're going to use that to illustrate the joins syntaxes. So I want you to go ahead and then join events. So in this case, events will be your left table, and then vendors will be your right table. So I want you to join events, left join events and vendors table. Left join events and vendors table. I believe the syntax for that is very basic. So, what is common to both of them that you are using? What is the common field? Look at the data. What is the common field? How many rows of data do we have in events? How many rows of data do we have in events table? How many do we have in vendors table? Sorry, I want us to use venues, not vendors. I made a mistake. It's venues, because those are the two that have similar things. So how many data do we have in venues? And how many do we have in events? But when you apply the joint statement, what do you notice? What do you notice? How many columns do you have in events? How many fields do you have in events? How many fields in events? Yeah? 8. How many fields do we have in venue? Shade? How many fields? Miss Shade. How many fields do we have in venues? 5. Huh? No, it's 5. You are counting the row ID. Row ID is actually not a part of. It's just SQL using it to, similar to how Excel gives you row values. So it's not part of the data. Okay? So you have 5. Now, but when you run that statement, select asterisk from events, left join vendors. What do you notice? How many rows of data do you now have? Sorry? Venue. Oh, sorry. I went and joined vendors. So how many rows of data? How many rows of data do you have? Are you sure? How many records? What? You have 230 records. Yeah. When you do select asterisk from events, left join venues, you will have 230 records. Then how many fields do you have? How many fields do you now have? Yeah. Hold on a minute. Now let's go back. Left join from events. Left join. Hold on, please. Left join venues. I'm not select asterisk from events. Left join venues. You run it, and then you got how many rows? Okay. In my case, I got 230 rows. So I didn't add any clause. I didn't add any clause. No condition. I want to try and, okay, what happened now? We didn't see you on Monday. Did you come on Friday too? I hope you're better now. So how many fields total? Fields total do we now have? Okay. Now, please look up and let me explain this. In one table, we have 23 records on the left. And then on the right, we have 11 records. Now, 10 records. Now, when we did a join, it's as though it multiplied the rows so that 23 times 10. If you remember your combination and permutation, I worked it out in class for you the other day. If you have 3 data in one table, 7 data or 5 data, whatever number of data in the other table, the way, and you apply this kind of statement without clause or conditions, what SQL will do is do a permutation of all possible combinations of the rows. So in this case, it did a return of values for the first row in this table, 23. The next row in this table, 23, and so on until it did to the 10th. So 23, 23, 23 in 10 places is what it will give you. Similar to that example that I gave you, A, B, C, and then you have 7 rows. So it will do A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? If you reverse it, so that venue is now your left, and then event is now the left. So let's switch it and see what happens. So what happened? It's the same 230. Who can explain why? Go ahead, Dustin. Yeah. Exactly. So 10 in 23 places, 10 in 23 places. So it picks the first row in the 23 of the other table. First row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Row 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you scroll through the values, go ahead and scroll through the values. What do you notice? There will be some cases where we'll have we should have null values, and it will be replicated. Particularly if whatever it matched has no corresponding value, then it will return a null value, and then you have instances of that. Now, we don't want this case when we are doing joins, right? So I want us to specify and bring out certain fields so that we can see the operation of the left join. So I'm going to look at the events table. In order for you to get this, we are going to call the event number from both tables, right? We're going to call both. So now we want to join the two tables, and we want to join them on event number because that is the common table. Sorry, common field for the two tables. Oh, sorry, venue number. Yeah, venue number. So we're going to use venue number to join the two tables. So please go ahead before I do specifics of fields. Go ahead now and apply the clause. So join event on event venue. Sorry, on venue number. So venue number is common to both tables. So go ahead and then apply that. So, how many rows do you now have? What's your syntax? Say that again. Select all. Okay, you used event. Who used venue first? Okay, all right. Let me also, because I used venue, so let me use events. So select from events, left join, venues, and then on join on, yeah. So how many rows do you have? All right. So it merges the two tables, and then only all the tables for events, and then only the relevant bits from venue. Do you understand? This will become clearer when we make specific selection. Now, if you scroll down to that table, what do you notice at the bottom? What do you notice with the rows at the bottom? What do you notice with the rows? You have a lot of null values, meaning that when it was matching the venues, all the relevant data matching the left table, it captured. And then where there was no matching data, it returned them as null values. Do you understand? This is what happens when you use the left join. Now go ahead and switch it and do the right join. So just change left to right. Change it and do left to right. 16 rows, right? 16 records, that's what it returns. And again, it will return all the value for the right table, and then null values from, from the left table. If you scroll down, you will see that that is the case also. So now, I want to narrow down this data. I want to narrow down the information that is given me. So in the event table, pick event number. Sorry. In the event table, pick venue number. Leave out event number. Venue number. Event name. Yeah. Event date. So in events, you need venue number, event name, underscore name, and then event date, underscore date. Then in the venues table, I need you to bring out also event number, venue. Okay, and let me see capacity. And again, so left join the two tables, separating, bringing out these fields, left join the two tables using venue number. So from events, select venue number, event name, event date. From venue, select venue number, venue, and then capacity using using venue number. You are doing left join. Or maybe we should start with inner join. Do inner join first. Do inner join. You have.
So my syntax is select events dot venue number, comma, events dot event name, comma, events dot event date, comma, venues dot venue, comma, venues dot venue number, comma, venues dot capacity from events, inner join venues on events dot venue number equals to venues dot venue number.
So how many of us got that syntax? I got the syntax. You people didn't get the syntax on my right hand. Chiamaka and Co. Why is yours not running? Look over your statements. Usually the key will be in the wordings, the letters, or maybe the combination of the syntax. So just take time to look at it. Sorry? It has worked. Usually when you have an error, the first thing you do is you look over your syntax. Maybe you didn't use it right, and then you look over the words. Maybe you missed the letter, or you didn't spell something properly. Now, how many, when you did that left join of events and venues, how many fields did you get? How many fields? How many records? Yeah, sorry. Sorry? You got 16. For left join. Sorry, inner join. For inner join, how many did you get? 14. Inner join. If you do inner join, you should get 14. Look over it very well. Shay, are you with us? Now, there was something I forgot to mention. When you are querying a single table, you have a choice of writing it as table name dot the field you want to select and all of that. You can do that even with a single table. But it is pointless because after all, it is only one table that you are querying. Then, when you come to querying multiple tables, the reason why you use table dot the field is so that you can distinguish in case you have multiple values. For example, multiple labels that are similar. For example, in table 1, you might have names. And the names there is maybe the name of patients. Then in table 2, you also have a field called names. But that table is about doctors. So if you go ahead when you are picking tables and you just say name, comma, another, and then name, you will confuse SQL because you start wondering, so which one are you referencing now? Is it names from table 1 or names from table 2? So in order to distinguish, you use that label. But you will notice that even if you don't use the labels like table combination and field, but each label is distinct for both tables, and you just write them out without saying table number this or table number that, it will return the values. I don't know if what I've said is clear. if there is no case of similar names in both tables, instead of saying table 1 dot this, table 1 dot that, table 2, you can go ahead and just list the field names. There will be no issues, because in any case, the names are not similar in both tables, so there's no confusion for SQL. It will return the values to you. Do you understand what I'm saying? But to play it safe, you specify table name field, to avoid confusion in case you now have cases where the field names are similar in both tables. Otherwise, if you don't have such a case, you can go ahead and just call out the field names without merging them with table names. Do you understand? And it will output all the values. So I just needed to clarify that. So I'm writing out the syntax myself, so just give me a minute to finish that. I want to be on the same page as everybody else. Is your, what's it called now? The code completion, is it working for you now? Okay. Do you understand what I just asked? I taught you how to do code completion, so that instead of typing it out every time, this application will auto-suggest to you, and then you just tab and bring it out instead of typing. It reduces your stress in typing out information. So you just tab, comma, and then venues dot capacity So we did inner join, right? And for inner join, you will realize that you have 14 rows. Okay? Search column. having a problem with my command, so I'm trying to figure out where the problem is. Okay. From events. Okay, now I want you to, I'm on inner join now. Which is the table on the left? Which is the table on the left? Which is the table on the right? Now, you see here that we have 14 records. I want you to go and look at the event table. You will notice that the first event number was for event number for events, right? That's the field, event number from events. That's the first event number there, venue number there from events. Now, I want you to go and look at that table and write down, because I need you to understand this very well, because if you search online, you will struggle to understand, based on some of the explanations that is online, the difference between inner, outer, left, inner, left, right, and full join. Some versions of SQL, they use left outer join or right outer join, but this version is just left or right. But some version will add outer. Do you understand? To the syntax. So be aware of that. Now, I want you to go and go to events. Yeah, under data. I want you to write out all the, do a count. Don't write for now, just do a count. Under events, do a count of, under events, all the venue number field. Count all the ones that have a record, not the null value now. How many records do you have? Okay? Under venue number. You have 17. But when it was outputting the values in the table, how many records did it bring out? 14. So which value did it miss out? The null, yeah. Which values did it leave out? Let me help you understand this. It's very simple. Hold on. All the what? No. I'm not talking about, yes, it left out the null values. But you have 17 rows with data. And yet, when he was putting out the information, he put out only 14. Why? Which one did he leave out? Exactly. It left out 1. Why? So I want you to do something on somewhere separate, maybe on your notepad or something. Write out all the records that have data. So 5, 3, just write them vertically like that. 5, 3, 5, 2, 7, 1, 1, 3, 1, 8, 5, 5, 3, 9, 10, 5, and 4. Have you done that? For venue number, all the rows that have data, copy them out or list them out. You have 17. Now, I want you to hold that and then come to venues now. When you look at venues, I want you to understand what is happening when you use inner join. Please pay attention. This is very, very important. If you search online, you will struggle to find this explanation. If you look at venues and you make a list of the venue under the venue number field, if you make a list out of the ones that have data, you will pick out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now remember the inner join statement. When you use inner join and you are joining two tables on a similar field, you are instructing SQL and saying, take all the relevant information from table A, join it with matching information on table B, and give me that data only. Now, you made a list. So if you go back to events table, and then so you are doing manually now, the way SQL did it and gave you the result. In the events table, the first item there is 5. In the venue table, 5 is what? 5 is under venue, the name. 5 is Friar Park, Fire Track. So it did a match. 5 is here, 5 is here, match. 3 is here, 3 is here, match. 5 is here, 5 is here, match. 2 is here, 2 is here, match. 7 is here, 7 is here, match. 1 is here, but 1 is not here. Drop. Because there is no match. 1 is here, 1 is not here, drop. 3 is here, 3 is here, match. 1 is here, 1 is not here, drop. 8 is here, 8 is here, match. 5 is here, 5 is here, match. 5 is here, 5 is here, match. 3 is here, 3 is here, match. 9 is here, 9 is here, match. 10 is here, 10 is here, match. 11 is not here, 11 is not here, but 11 is here, drop. So you will see that it matches the values that are here and the values that are here only. Intersection, inner join. The values that are similar in those fields is the only thing it will return to you in inner join. Please, is this point understood? Yes. Every instance in one table, every instance of 5, return the value of 5 there. Every instance of 3 in this table, return the value that matches it. It doesn't matter. Do you understand? It will match it, which is why you have 14, you understand, items. Because every instance, if 2 appears more than once, in every case, it will put out the information. That is for inner join. Please, is this point understood? Now, we're going to do left join. For those who are just joining us, BC, welcome. Please, this point that I've mentioned, the bit I explained, is it clear to you, please? You'll catch it. Because I have searched and searched and searched when I started with SQL, and I could not find a perfect explanation. So I had to sit down and build this explanation in a way that you will understand. They will just tell you statements. Take all the values, join it with this. But when you are interpreting it, you will find it difficult to understand the way they have used English to explain it. So that's why I'm taking this trouble to break it down for you manually. Okay, so now, the same set of fields that we picked from the two tables, we'll retain them, but we're now going to do left join. So we're going to do left join. So in other words, you are instructing SQL. What is the instruction you are saying to SQL? Oh yeah, what is the instruction by left join? Okay, don't tell me what you typed. What does it mean? That statement that you have written. What, yeah. No, no. Yes, hold on, Simi. Yes. So everything that you stipulated on the left, the rows, matching rows, join. Now, because you said left join, everything that is on the left, whether it has value from the right or not, join. If it doesn't have value, return null. Do you understand? So the ones that have matching values, add it. If it does not have a value, null. That is left join. Is it clear? If you do right, take all the values on the right and match it with the one on the left. If there is no value matching it from the left, return null. Please, is this clear? All right, so let's do left join and run the syntax. So you are just simply changing the join. Instead of inner, you are just replacing it with left. Then you run that syntax. How many fields do you have? 23. Now you can scroll down to the bottom. Remember that you are doing a left join for 10. Scroll down to the bottom and see what you have. Can you see the nulls? Now, go back up and trace it again. So you will see that it did a join of 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 5 to 5, 2 to 2, 7 to 7. It captured 1. And then, because there was no value for 1 on the venues table, what did it do? It returned null. In every instance of 1, it returned null. Then it continued. It did a join of 3 to 3. Where there was 1, it returned null because there's no matching value. Then in 8, it did a 8 to 8. It did 8 to 8, 5 to 5, 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 9 to 9, 10 to 10, 5 to 5, 4 to 4. And then you have null values. Because if you go back and you look at the event table, you can see that we have null values there. So he carried all of those null values because everything that is in that table, it will carry. Do you understand? And then when it is trying to now left join, wherever there is, you can see that for all the null values, it just returns null, 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 null. Because on those rows, from the second table, there are no matching values. Is it clear now? So carry all the rows, all the records from the left table, match it to the records on the right table. If on the right table there is no matching record, return null. Is this clear? I feel it is important to understand this particular thing, because if I don't make this distinction, you'll find it difficult to understand what is the difference between, because to you it will look like it's the same, but you can see it's very subtle. So if you use left join, you'll have 23 records. Inner join, you have only 14. In inner join, it will drop all null values. In left join, it will take all the values here and then give null to the values that are missing. Is this clear, please? All right, now let's replace the other alpha. I want you to catch up with us. Don't look lost. So go ahead, quickly type out the syntax. We'll give you about 5 minutes so that you can also carry out, just copy from them and come along with us. Miss Said, is it clear? So now, when we have left join, replace it with right. So the same set of information, but we're going to do right join. So the only thing you are changing in that code is replacing left with right. And then you run it. How many records do you have? 16 records. So you told SQL, return all the values in venue and then match it with the records from events. Do you understand? So you can go ahead. Now, are you not surprised? In venues, we have only 10 records, right? Go and look at it. Only 10. We have only 10 records. And yet, when we did a right join, we have how many? 16. And you're wondering, but why? So he took all the values on the right, and for the values on the left, whether he matched it or not, he just returned a null value. So now, you will notice that, so he did a 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 5 to 5, 2 to 2, 7 to 7, 3 to 3, 8 to 8, 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 9 to 9, 10 to 10. Then, in the case of another 5, a matched 8, a matched 4. Then there was no 6. There was no 6 in event. So he returned a null value for 6. And then there was no 11. He returned a null value. Do you understand? So that is how come it had 16. So in other words, this is like the last 2 rows that he didn't have a value for, plus all of the values he got in inner join. Because in inner join, we had 14 rows. So it's as if he carried all of those values, and then the last 2 rows that he didn't have value for, he created a null value, and then he returned 16. Is this clear, please? I do not understand. Show of hands. Okay. Then we're going to do the final join, which is the full join. So instead of right, just replace it with full. So with this command, what are we asking it to do? In both tables, return the value. So when you execute, how many records do you have? 25, which is more than both tables anyway, because in one you have 10, in the other one you have 23, but now it's returning 25. So if you look at it again, you will see that it did a match to 5 to 5, it did a match of 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 5 to 5, 2 to 2, 7 to 7. It didn't have 1 in the other table, so it returned a null value. And then the same thing, null value. Then 3 to 3, where it doesn't have for 1, it returned a null value. 8 to 8, 5 to 5, 5 to 5, 3 to 3, 9 to 9, 10 to 10, 5 to 5, 4 to 4. And then all the null values, it carried them. Do you understand? And then where you have 6 on this side, the null value corrects because there's no other value, and then it brought everything together. So, with this explanation, I have concluded SQL. With this explanation, technically, all the syntaxes that you will need to know as a data analyst, I have taught you. If there is anything that I have not taught you, maybe it will be 1 or 2, certainly not up to 5, if at all. And most probably, it will be maybe a clause, not a main syntax. So everything you need to know in how to query, how to define, and how to manipulate a database, I have taught you. So that means that I have covered all the syntaxes under DQL, DDL, DML. So total about 7 different commands. Select, under DDL, create, alter, delete. Under DML, insert, update, and then which is the last one? Delete. Sorry, the other one was drop. This one is delete. Do you understand? So let me recap everything again. When you work with database, there will be need for you to create tables. If the table is created, there may be need for you to make some alteration to the table. And the basic alterations that you do in a database are, maybe you want to add a table, to the database, or you rename a table in a database, or you drop a database, which means to delete the database, the table from the database. All those come under definition. You are defining your database by either creating, alteration, or dropping. Please listen to this explanation. I'm recapping now all that we have done in the past 2 weeks. The basic operations you do. If a table is, if the database is not created, you create it. We've done that in this class. I've taught you how to create, just create table, the name of the table in that database after you have created a database. Then for an existing database, you want to add a new table. I've taught you how to do that. Abi, just create table, the name of the table in that database. If you want to add a field to the table you have created, it is what? Alter, use the alter statement because you are altering the table. Yes, so you alter the table name. If you are adding, add the column that you are adding. And then that's the name of, so when you are typing it out, it will be table name and then column name. If you are renaming, it will be what? Alter the table name, the old name of the column, and then the new name. Rename the new name. Is this clear? If you want to delete a table, what is the syntax? You drop table, simple. But if you want to delete a field from a table, then when you start manipulating the data in a table, you now come to your data manipulation commands. You want to insert, which is adding data to the rows, inserting records to the fields that you have created. You use insert. So insert into the name of the field, the table, and then the field, and then the values. Then if you are modifying, maybe you are adding, you use the insert, the set the value as this. If you are deleting, delete. Do you understand what I'm saying? So please, take time to go over these commands and practice them. The reason why we are teaching you coding is that there are some cases where you have to work from the command line. There is no graphic interface, and you need to work on database. This one, you have graphic interface is all this click and drop that we are doing. Like when you want to create a new database, you can go to File, New, Create. If you want to add tables, you right click and say Add Table. You can, all these commands that we're doing, we can do them by just dragging, dropping, all of that. It's also possible to do this in a graphic interface. However, we need to teach you these codes because you will come across situations where you have to work in command line. You don't have access to the graphic interface for a database, and you have to write the codes to manipulate it or to work on it. What I mean by graphic interface is, now you have this compiler. This application that we're using is a compiler. And they've simplified it in the sense that they gave you file, the menus, file, view, database, object, and all of that. And if you want to create a database, you just say new database instead of writing the code. Do you understand? Now, if you've created a database, for example, the classwork database that we created the last time, supposing you want to add a table. Remember the last time we created a database and we added tables. Now, you can do it from the command line, which is you write the code to create that table, or you can come to that database and right click. If you go ahead and right click, you will see there a list of options. It says new database, new memory database, close database. Can you see at the bottom it says new table? Can you see? So if you click on new table, it brings out on your right hand side a dialog box that you can type the table name. So go ahead and type, let's say we type, this is classwork. Let's say we type assignment as the name of the table, the new table, assignments. All right? So under class work database, we created a database the last time on Monday called classwork. If you didn't do it, just go ahead and create. If you didn't do it then, just go ahead, go to file, click on a new database, call it classwork, save. And then after it is saved, come to it, right click. It will bring out menus. And in the list of menus, you will see new table. So click on new table. When you click on new table, We are using assignment. So type assignment under table name. Then you get to define all of the qualities of the table, the attributes, those things that you type out. Whether it is primary key, is it integer? Do you understand? So you now define the columns. You can see under columns for that table, just go ahead and add. So let's say column name, user. When you click add, under columns, are you there? Columns. If you click on add, user, that's a field in that table. So column name is user. Now, SQL type, or let's say user underscore ID. Let's start with that. User underscore ID. Okay? And then SQL type, pick integer. So we're going to use int. Okay? Then size. We don't need to define size. Then you say okay. If you say not null, that means that it's compulsory for you to put a value. Do you understand? When in the front end, if there is a form interfacing with that database, the instruction is that you cannot move forward until you put data in that field. If you use not null, that means it cannot be blank. It must have data. So if you pick not null, that means that compulsorily there must be data, and so on and so forth. So you say okay. So you can see that it has created that column, which if we wanted to create at the command line, what would we have done? What would we have done if we wanted to create this? Create table, the name of the table is what? Assignment. And then we put brackets, the user ID, integer, comma. Then, now create the next column, call it user. Okay? So the SQL type, you can call it character, or character, variable character. So we have a character value. If you scroll there, you will see it. Okay, oh, this one has only character, I think. All right, so you pick character. Then it's asking for the size. So you can call it 30. Okay? And then define other things and say okay. Right? And then the next one, say address. That's another column. Please, are you following me? All right? Then data type. Again, character. Let's say we use, who is lost? Why? We're just creating fields or columns. So we're still under columns. You're just adding. And every time you click add, you give it a name, define the type, define the size. So the size for address, maybe we say 80. And then you say okay, not null, whatever else, you can define it. Okay? Clinton, are you here with us? Or you two, you are lost? Please try and come along. Me said, are you with us? You are cutting along. Sheyi, are you with us? User, so far we've done user underscore ID, integer. User, character 30. Address, character 80. So I'm teaching you how to do it. If you don't want to use the command line by writing the code, you can also do it through the graphic interface. This is simpler, right? Because you only need to figure out the fields that you are creating. So if I give you, what's it called now? A schema. All you need to do is just come here and you understand. But I will still advise you, as much as possible, to do these things through the command line, because of the day you will come across a database and you don't have a graphic interface. and you need to manipulate it. Because if you don't practice using the commands, you will forget them. Please, is this clear what we have done so far? All right. Now, you will notice that there is a place there where it says primary key. So supposing we want to stipulate that our user ID is a primary key. So you come under primary key, and then you click Add. Then you pick the name of the column, which is user ID, as the primary key, and then you say OK. Are you clear? And so on and so forth. All of the attributes of that table and the columns, you define it. Then you click Apply. When you click Apply, what do you notice on your left-hand side? Under the classwork database, what do you notice? You now have assignment table. Now, go and look at assignment table under data. Can you see all the fields there? Hello, I need a feedback. I need to know you are following me. Then now if you look at DDL, data definition language, can you see the code? If you have typed the code, you would have typed create, table name, and then the fields, user ID, integer, primary key, comma, user, CHAR, character, 30. The same way we would have typed out the code. You can see the code there. Is this clear, please? We're saying no. Under DDL, you will see the code. Is this clear, please? So you can see that everything you would have typed out, it's what you can see by the graphic interface that you used. Okay. Yes. It's clear. So this is how to use the graphic interface to create your database and then your tables, and also how to use codes. Whether you use the graphic interface or you use codes, there is no shortcut to writing codes in manipulation. At least, not that I have seen. There is no command that you will click and you will say query table or output table. I've not seen. So you have to learn codes. Even if this bridges some of you understand your work, you still have to learn how to code in order to manipulate the database. So I'm going to devote the rest of the time we have, the next 2 hours, we're going to completely import a data from start to finish, afresh. We're going to create a new database, create the fields, import the rows. Now, because you are using a free version, this free version does not allow you to easily bring in the data. You'd have to type it manually, one by one. To save yourself that stress, I want to show you a way to do it. The reason why I'm showing this to you is so that when you start your data analytics work, and this free version is available to you, and a client sends you their Excel file or their data in CSV, and you need to work on it and manipulate it, instead of going to look for a compiler online or you pay big money for compiler to use, you can use this method to carry that client's CSV file and create a database, bring it in here, do your manipulation, and then conclude your analysis with the storytelling. What I said just now, is it clear? Is it clear? So that process of taking data from Excel, Notepad, whatever source the client gives you, bringing it into a database is what I want to teach you now. I have taught you how to use the graphic interface to create your table. Unfortunately, there is no, the graphic, the means to import the data into your fields is not enabled because you are not paying for it. If you want it, go and pay $99. You will get all the full version of this database compiler. But since it's not available to you, what is the shortcut? I want to teach you that today. So in order to do that, let me give you the schema. So I'm going to drop, let me see if I can drop the schema on your phones, so you get it on the group, instead of me having to put it on the screen or the board, because it's quite lengthy. So now, this, for those, how many of you have gone to SQL-practice.com? How many of you have gone there? Right, if you've gone there, you will see that it has two databases. There is the hospital database and then the Northwind. There are two databases. If you go now, you will see. You can go now, please, on your phone. Go to SQL-practice.com. Because this thing that I want to teach you, you will need it if you don't want to be online 24/7. So SQL.practice, SQL-practice.com. So you will notice that if you're doing it on your phone, you will need to go to, you will see that it shows you Hospital DB. Can you see Hospital DB? If you click on the arrow beside it, can you see the second database? Northwind DB. Can you see the second database? Oh, now, come on. Just click on the arrow, even on your phone. Click on the database, you will see it, it will bring it out. So you can see the Northwind DB. Now, when you are practicing with the questions, please listen very well, so that you can maximize all the benefits of this site. You will see that under the questions, you have easy, medium, and hard. If you don't want to be on, if you don't want to go online every time, you can simply say view all the questions. And when you say view all the questions, it will ask you, is it all the keywords, all difficulty and all of that? You say yes. Then you can copy all the questions and put it in maybe Microsoft Word, and then pick all the easy, copy it, pick all the hard, copy it. Then you can use it to practice offline. But for you to do that, you have to have this database on your computer, which is what I'm trying to teach you how to do now. So listen very well. I'm going to give you an assignment on Friday. Using this method, you are going to import Northwind database, because we are going to use Northwind database in our SQL project, and I'll use it to teach you Tableau and Power BI. So on Friday, your assignment will be to download the Northwind database and bring it into this compiler that we're using in class. So I'm going to show you how to do the one for hospital database today. So please, when you get home, go over it again so that you'll be able to do for Northwind. We're going to be using Northwind in our analysis later. So now, you have, when you click on hospital database, if you are using it on the computer, you will see SQL database. Can you see SQL database? For those of you that are browsing on your phone, it will probably be where you have menu, right menu. If you click on it, okay, let me see. Okay, if you make it landscape, if you make your phone landscape, it should bring out left menu, right menu. Can you see it? This is landscape. Holding your phone this way is landscape. So if you do that, it should stretch it out. So it will be as though you are seeing it on a computer. You will see run. You will see the database, hospital database. Then you will see left menu, right menu. So if you click on left menu, you will see SQL. You see SQL database and learning resources. When you click on SQL database, you will see view schema. Can you see that? So when you click on view schema, it will show you the schema of the table, of the database. Can you see it? Patient ID and all of that. It will show you. I have seen it. Can I say show of hands? All right, so you are going to use that schema now. So we're going to use that schema now in class for this second assignment. So we're going to move very fast. So we return to our, now, ideally, okay, before I leave that subject, let me just quickly explain something. So how did I get all the data? Please listen. How did I get all the data and I brought it into Excel? What I did, based on the information from the schema, I came to the schema, and in the window where you have the code line, I did select from patients. So select all records from patients. When I did that, I ran the command with F5, or you run it, sorry, you click run, and then it will output all of the information there for you when you click run. So, sorry, select from, okay, I want patient ID. I'm just explaining something to you, so please just pay attention. You select the table, patients, and then you run the command. So it should return all the values, all. When you click, if you type select asterisk from patients, it will return all the values. You can see that in the window below the command line. Can you see that? How many, what? Are you on your phone or on your tab? Run now, click run. Select asterisk from patients, click run. Run is on the left-hand side, top left-hand side there. Click run. Run is like execute. And then you see at the bottom, it will output all the values. Can you see there? How many records are there? 4,530 records. Don't be like the Edo State governor. I mean, 200, sorry, I'm confused. So please don't be like that. Sorry, now. I'm sure that guy by now is so overwhelmed. You see, Nigerians are too docile. We're too docile. If we were some other places, they would have frustrated that man by now to resign. But Nigerians are too docile. It is well. Don't let me go into politics. So can you see all the values? Now, if you want to start copying, please listen, because I'm going to give you what you will use to get all this data. If you want to start copying this data, it's a long thing, no? Because what it means is that you will do, if you come into that field, the bottom field where you have the data displayed, you can do Control A. Okay, if you do Control A to select the whole page. So you have to hold down your mouse and then copy. It will copy the first 100. You do next. So after you copy it, go to your Excel, paste it. Then go back, copy the next set. You do next, copy the next set. If you have to do that, how many instances of next? How many times are you going to click next to get the 4,530? Huh? Exactly. So 450 divided by 100. 4,530 divided by 100. So you have about 45 times. You have to go 45 times, copying. Hard work. To solve that problem, I have an extension. If you use Chrome, I use Chrome. So you might need to download Chrome to do this. There's an extension in Chrome that you install. And with that extension, all you need to do is, once you've activated that extension, it will automatically click next. And then when you say crawl, that extension will start crawling all the data. Fiam. After copying it, you just download. It will show you the 440. We use it to, it's a scraper, we use it to scrape data. You know it. So there are different types of scrapers. But this particular one, I use it in my work to scrape tables online. So I'll give it to you. I'll drop the name of it on the platform. You can go and install it. So you will use it for your, do you understand? So after you have done for patients, remember what I said. You open an Excel workbook, extract all the data. You need to manually, I'm not sure if it will capture the fields, but you can try. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, then you might need to manually key in the fields after you have copied the data. When you are done, you come to the command line. The next table is what? Admissions. So you say select asterisk from admissions. It will give you all the data for admissions. When you run it, it will bring out all the data for admissions. How many rows of data do we have for admissions? I want you to be doing these things as I'm doing it so that I'll be sure you are following me. How can you have 5? How many rows, records of data? Exactly. 5,067. So if you start doing, copy the first 100, you will belong there. So again, just use that scraper, scrape all the 5,000 records, create, in your Excel workbook, open a new sheet, paste it there. When you are done, come back. What is the next table? Doctors. So you go to doctors, and then you run the command. When you do, how many records do you have there? Okay, so that one you can easily just highlight it, copy it, and paste it, create another sheet in your Excel. Then what's the last table that we have there? Province name. So you go ahead, province name, and then how many fields, how many records do we have in province name? 14. What? 18. 13. All right, so you copy it and then put it in another sheet in Excel. Now, please go ahead. That's the hospital Excel sheet that I sent to you. Go ahead and open it if you have downloaded it onto your computer. I have done the work for you. So I shared it with you. Go ahead and open it. Have you opened it? Have you opened it? All right. So you can see that I put the tables in different sheets. So that is the same thing you will do for north wind. This is how your north wind will look like when you have imported all the data into Excel. This one is still opening. Okay. You will see that, what is the first sheet you have there? Then the next sheet. Then the next one. And then the last one. Province name. You can go ahead and click on them. So when you click on admissions, you see, you can try and scroll down and see all the, can you see that it has over 400 and, can you see? Exactly. So it has 400 and it's 4,000, that is the first table, there is 4,530. But if you look at the role ID, it's 4431, right? And then under admissions, the same thing. If you scroll down, you can see over 5,000 there, right? But the last item you have there is 4529, right? And then doctors. How many rows do we have? You have 28 rows. And then province name, you have 14. So by the time you do what I've asked you to do, this is how that database will look like in Excel. Now, we want to take all of these values. The reason why you are doing this is it might be challenging for you depending on how the client presents data to you. If you are lucky, they will give you the database, a file called db.db. If you see .db or whatever other extensions that the database is in, all you need to do is just come into your compiler. If they gave it to you as a .db, all you need to do is come into your compiler, locate where the file is, if it's a DB file, and then just say, so if you want to bring it new, let me explain what I'm saying. You can close all the windows for all the databases that you have here. Close all the windows. That's beside the database on your left-hand side. That icon, click it. It's to close the database. So everything is compressed now, so that it's not distracting you. Is it clear now? If you do it on your left-hand side, you will only see 3 items. All the databases that were created, the demo, the movie, the classwork. Those are the only 3 things you will be seeing. Is that the case? All right. So now we want to create a database called Hospital DB. Supposing your client gave you a database and it is a DB file, all of the exercises that we want to do will not be necessary. You just come here in this compiler, you go to File, you go to New, and then you will search for that database where you stored it. Click on it and click Open. That's all you will need to do. And then if the client gave you the total of the database in a DB file, you just look for the DB file, click on it, open it. You are good. You can start your analysis. But we are working with a scenario where the client did not give you a DB file. They only gave you a CSV, a notepad, an Excel representing their data set. And now you want to bring everything here and create a database. How do you do it? So, because we are starting from that premise that we don't have a database, we are going to type hospital in that space. Okay? Type hospital, and then you click open. Once you do that, can you see that we now have on the left hand side, you will see hospital database. Abi? Does it have any tables yet? So now, that schema that I showed you online, go and fetch it. And then start creating the tables. So you can use the graphic interface instead of the command line to create the tables. So just go ahead, get the schema, that schema from the website. Okay? So we're going to create the patients table first. You are going to create the patients table. Okay, what's going on? David, is this something that will take time? Sorry? You can't find the file. We can't open it, okay. Have we all opened the document, by the way? Why? So, is there anyone that can? Who? Who? That you should do what? I don't understand. What do you say your problem is? You can't find it. This is well. Clinton. Oh, it's the same thing. Why? Have you, okay, so look, have you created, hold on, please. Okay? Please, can you suspend what you're doing? Please go, carry your laptop, go and sit down. Just hold on. We will come to the issue of the data later. Please, I want everybody to pay attention and follow through. I want us to quickly do this because we're running out of time and I'm going to leave here one on the dot. So, open to the schema. Can you all do that? Who is asking where's the schema again now? My goodness. Yeah, now. The schema for the table, the hospital database. Yeah, that. Oh, the one we created then. Oh, you mean some people are still there? Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Wow. I mentioned it now. I said apply. I said it. Wow. Hello, people. Hello. Please just follow. Follow back to back. Bumper to bumper. You won't miss anything. But a lot of times I see all the side talks. When you are talking to someone next to you, you won't hear my instructions and you will miss something critical. After you have created using the graphic interface, I said apply. If you had applied, you won't have, some of you that are having that challenge, you would have it now. Okay, please, have we done the next one, which is to create the database? What is the, why now? Have you created hospital database? I have not done it. Can I say a show of hands? I have not done it. I have done it. Can I say a show of hands? Oh my God. I have not done it. No show of hands. I have done it. No show of hands. What's the problem? It's done. Chiamaka, what's the problem? Have you sorted it now? Okay, now, right click on the hospital database. Jordan, are you with us? Miss Said, are you here? Right click on the hospital database. You don't have the schema. Can someone do a screen grab and then share it with all of you with Bluetooth? You put it on the group. They don't have data. So can you send it to them by Bluetooth? Can you connect by Bluetooth your laptop? If you can connect by, can someone send it to them? Or one of you there, if you have it, open it for others to see. So right click, new table. So we're going ahead to create a table, to create tables inside the database. So the first table we are creating is called patients. Just look at the schema, please. Look at the schema. We are creating the tables. The first one we are creating is patients. So the first name there is patients. Don't miss anything, no, because if you miss, you will have errors. Patients. Make sure you catch the name. Okay? Patients. And then you come to columns, add. So start adding all the fields under the patients table. So what's the first field there? Speak it out, please. Patient underscore ID. That's the first field there. Patient underscore ID. What is the SQL type? What is the SQL type? Oh my God. Integer. Is there any other thing there? Size. There's no size under integer. So you say okay. No, that is another, you don't know your fields again. Fields are columns. You've forgotten? Your fields are your columns. Okay, so then you add the next one. What's the next one? So to add the next one, you click add. So first name. First underscore name. Are you with me, please? What is the SQL type? Variable char. So you go ahead and click. If there's no there's variable char at the bottom. Okay? Oh, the other time I was looking for char variable. Oh my goodness. All right, so there's variable char. What is the size? 30. Okay? Then you say okay. The next, add. What is the column name? Clinton, what's the column name for the next one? Last name. Last underscore. Please don't forget to name it exactly how it is. Last underscore name. What is the, Austin, what is the SQL type? If it says SQL type, it means data type. What? Variable char. And what is the size? 30. And you click OK. Say, what is the next data field? The next field? Gender. What's the, what is the SQL type or data type? BC? Character. And what is the size? Simi? What is the size? 1. That means you're not looking at the schema. What is the next one? Daniel, what is the next field? What? Birth underscore date. Underscore date. All right? What is the SQL type? Date. And then OK. Biodun, what is the next column or field name? What? We are done now. We are moving on. What is the next one? City. What is the data type? What is the data type? See now, are you looking at the schema? No. Now, it's written there beside it. So, varchar, and what is the size? 30. What's the next item? Province underscore ID. Who is not following us? Who is not where we are at now? I am not here. Can I see a show of hands? Province underscore ID. What is the attribute? Char. And what is the size? 2 characters. What is the next? Chiamaka? Allergies. Allergies. Make sure you get the spellings correct. If you don't, you would need to use your alter and update to amend everything. Allergies. What is the SQL type? Variable char. And what is the size? What do you call the size?